Good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing? Happy Monday, everyone. What's going on? Nano, Cisco, all right. I am listening. Hey, good to see you. What's up, Ronan? So, overnight inventory, my friends. We're just joining us. Welcome to the folks on YouTube. Overnight inventory is short and it is correcting higher. Oh, let me make this a little bit. The bulk of the inventory is underneath Friday's close. It is correcting up. We had distribution earlier in the evening, a liquidation, and now back up. Let me make this a little bigger. Folks, the name of this business is rotation. That's all we're doing. We're not creating anything. We're not doing anything at all revolutionary, right? We had a liquidation on Friday, right? So what happens when you have a liquidation? You grab that cheap inventory from Friday, you sell it at night on Sunday night, then you liquidate it again. We did a little look below and fail of Friday's low. Grab that stuff, and now we're going to try and sell it between 68 and 77, right? So as you can see, the path of inventory is this. That's why you get those charts doing that. It's just the movement of inventory as order flow comes in the market. And that's all we're doing, right? It's not rocket science, right? It's the world's biggest used car lot. Right? So we're most probably we're going to open inside Friday's range, right? And Friday's value, which means not much going on. Right? We have just rotation. You know, it's what we call. We'll probably have an inside day, and then if we break 64.97, or if we break, I'd say if we break 64.60, right, to the downside here, we'll get some further liquidation, right? But right now, that shelf that we had at 60, it's held. That's where all the short covering happened at nighttime, right? I'll go and show you. Just, I'll hide the drawings, and you'll take a look at this structure. It's quite fascinating. I went over it in detail in Globex. That sort of ledge from the 12th, you'll notice that most of the short covering is right here, just above it. We dipped underneath it a few times, right? So that means that the shorts are still bid to cover. Now, a lot of people don't know what a short sale is. And I realized that I was teaching someone on the weekend, and I was saying, well, the shorts are bid there. And they're like, what do you mean? Well, shorts have to buy back their position to close a trade, right? Now, Derek, this term liquidity, unfortunately, is highly misused, right? Retail traders use this word liquidity, but what liquidity means is the ability to transact size without adversely affecting price. So I think of liquidity in very different terms of whatever you guys think about. When I think about liquidity is, can I buy or sell 1,000,000 shares of stock without moving the price? You guys don't think like that. So if we go up to the highs, why would we get a sharp sell-off? I'm very curious because a lot of people, right? A lot of people think that if we put in a new high, we'll get a sharp sell-off. But in a market that has restricted supply, like the US stock market in general, right? And if you're wondering what that is, I've put videos in the room for us at the Trading Syndicate explaining what I mean, and it's all based on market structure. It's all verifiable. You can go and fact check everything I say. It's not conjecture. When you have a market that has supply that's locked up, when you take a high, it creates more buying, not selling. Liquidity is a very, very misplaced, misused term by the Twitterati, those on Twitter. And they always say it's looking, liquidity is, you need to move 5,000 ES contracts. Can you get rid of them or can you buy them and not move price? That's what liquidity means. See, big traders want to come into a market, take 5, 10, 15, 20, $30 million out of it, and you not even know that they exist. That's real trading. If you guys want to know what real trading is, it's going into a market that trades maybe $300 or $400 million worth of stock in a day and be able to take 30, 40% of that. Now, the buyers are already gone. The buyers that are caught up there have liquidated. There will be some, but it's not like there's thousands of people waiting to liquidate. Right? So the supply from the last couple of days is above us. But the point is, larger traders don't sell until we take lows and stay underneath those lows. Like that low right there. That is what we call a structural low. So if we get under 64.60 in RTH, we might get some further liquidation. But not when you go to the highs. Because you got to remember, people tend to act in a crowd-like mentality. And they'll buy highs. Right? It's very different when you actually... The reason why does price come down? Because the people who are long here are selling here, and then they start to compete with each other. And when they start to price compete, price goes down. Right? Price only goes down when sellers need to compete. As long as there's buyers, why the hell would you want to bang out of it? Lift the offer and see if they chase you, right? That's the thing. One of these days I'll get my VR trading simulator up and going, and I'll put you guys right in the trade desk handling a large client order, and you'll understand very quickly why markets move the way they do. You have to think like a seller of size, right? So when you take an upper stop, like here, what does that do? Well, that creates buying. And if you're long here, you would sell into that buying. But if you see a ton of people lined up at that level, you're going to lift your ask. You're going to lift your offers so they'll follow you and pay more, right? Hey, Hank, what's up? I don't think the overnight low is fully tested. I would like to see our overnight low, which is 64.56. I would like that tested in regular trading hours. I'll scalp long when inventory is short, just like I'll scalp short when inventory is long. So I only took really one decent trade today. I took a scalp in Globex, and then I did a long. I did a 64 long, a look below and fail of 62 and a half, and it was right here. I bought 64. I was a little late. I didn't get my act together down here. It was a look below and fail. I bought 64, had my stop at 62 half, and I sold it here in the 65 half, 65 three quarters, and I did that on 6 minis. You don't have to hold a trade for 20 points to make money. If you could increase the size, your contract size, nice little look above and fail of 68 and a half, rotation down to the middle. So if you were shorting 68, 67 and a half, use 68 and a half as your stop. Cover sub at 65, you make 3 points, 6 contracts. There's nothing wrong with that. Learn how to be consistent and learn how to use those if-then statements to make money. Don't worry about 20 or 30 point trades, right? Because listen, if you've never made $50 a day consistently trading the ES, how are you going to trade and make 6 grand a day? Right? It's just delusional, right? Learn consistency, right? Learn how to manage your risk, learn how to execute properly. All of those things are important, and then scale as you get better, right? Yeah, the close. There's always Raj. There's always going to be certain areas that are responsive. The previous day high, low, and close. Those are areas that everybody can see, right? So it's like the popular club. Everybody's sitting there waiting at that area to execute, right? So you'll always look for a reaction. Now, let me go and one thing I have not done all morning is I have not set VWAP. Like I didn't care where it was. Right? I was just you don't really even need VWAP on here. It's nice to know so you can bail out of a trade when you get close to it. Right? Like if you're long and you get up to VWAP, you know there's going to be a seller. If you're short and you get down to VWAP, you know okay, there's going to be buyers there, right? So that's really the only thing that you don't want to use VWAP to initiate trades, especially if it's volatile, because it's not a fixed reference, right? You want to use fixed references to initiate trades. Otherwise, it's like trying to shoot a moving target, right? Just keep it simple. No reason to make a big hairy deal about it. Right. I seem sharper today. Good coffee mixture. I was using subpar coffee. And also, the doctors changed my medications last week, and they're finally they're working. So I'm a lot sharper. Also, it helps to have a couple of days off. What did I eat? No carbs. A range-bound market until Powell? Could be. When does he talk? Is it Friday? Somebody said Friday. When does Jackson show up with his holes? Hey, what's going on, Kevin? So VWAP's there at 69. So we're going to try and take this and try and sell it up here. For profit. That's all we're doing in the market is we're moving inventory, folks. We just move an inventory, right? Just pushing inventory around. Order flow comes in. We do some transactions. Try and make a couple of bucks. Put it on sale when nobody wants to buy it. Yes, my blue balance zone is 68.5 to 71.5. Double it to the discount zone is 62.5, and then if you double it again, 4 times discount is 64.50.5. Hey Renee, how are you? And then if you double it to the upside, it's 77.5. That's 2 times profit. Levels are working pretty decent. Howard, how are you doing? There you go, Howard. There you go. Right? You're chipping away at it, man. Well done. Proud of you. Keep it simple. Make a couple of points here, a couple of points there. Don't you find that's a bit more relaxing? You have less anxiety, Howard? You make a couple of points. You're not sweating bullets. The money will start to add up. I know it doesn't seem like a lot at first. JJ, have you ever heard of the term cascading time frame recruitment? That sounds like a band from the 1990s. I have never heard of that. I've been in the industry for 33 going on 34 years. I've heard of so many things, but there are lots of things I've never heard of. Now, it doesn't mean that it has no validity, right? I can't say something's not valid if I don't even know what it is. There's a lot of stuff I haven't heard of. But what do I really need to pay the light bill? You know, Louis? Right? I just need to get in and out, make 3 or 4 points, right? Do you show how to set up your charts and explain your trading system? I do. The trading system, David, I have to admit, it's very blue collar, right? It's called, you see supply running out, you go grab a little bit, and you put your out where if somebody comes in and starts selling cheaper than when you own it, where you own it, you get the hell out of Dodge. right? That's you buy, you put your stop in, and then you look to see where they sold before. You put your sell orders out just a little bit before that. The market takes you out, right? So my trading system is really just based on common sense business practices. Setting up the charts is pretty easy too. We use Sierra Chart, and if you join the trading syndicate, we have chart books available for you. Hey, guy. Competitive buying always creates the bid. Hey, guy. How you doing? Shorts will always buy first. Sorry for the caps. Shorts are always the first to come in and buy. And that's because they are closing. Man, I tell you, I went to the doctor again today and they're taking blood tests. They use this tape, and I swear to God, they make sure the tape covers every bit of your arm hair. So when you rip it off, it's like that scene from Steve Carell in 40-Year-Old Virgin. Jeez. Yeah. So if you look at that video I posted, guy, right? I put in a video and it's called How to Trade a Low, Learning to Trade a Low. I'll just put it in the room again. So the first people come in to buy are short sellers, right? First, it's the smart money shorts, right? Competitive buying competitive buying does create a poor low. The poor low is the bid, my friend. They're just fancy ways of saying the same thing. Competitive buying creates a poor low, right? That's where the shorts are trapped underneath that low. They're trying to buy, and the longs go, oh my God, there's a whole bunch of buyers. Ooh, let's see if they'll pay more. And they turn around and they raise price. Think about you have a kitten and a piece of string. And every time the kitten goes to grab the string, you raise the level of the string. It makes the kitten jump. The short sellers are the kitten. The wholesale longs are the string. Hey, Quarshi, what determines a low? Unfilled bids. Great question. So a low is created by unfilled buy orders. That's it. Pretty simple stuff. Now, of course, everybody loves to overcomplicate this stuff so they can sell you books and, course 1, course 2, course 3, and then our special software, right? And then, blah, 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 blah. Sorry. You know, and then my special DVD. Well, it's not necessarily market makers, Omen, it's wholesale longs. Some wholesale longs are market makers, and some wholesale longs just trade for themselves. Howard, do I trade Nikkei? Now, Howard, you've known me for a long time, my brother. What's my motto? Trade one market. You have one wife or you have one girlfriend, right? You get to know that wife or girlfriend. You know when she's in a bad mood. You know when you should go hide in the garage. You know when you should leave it alone. Right? My motto is trade one thing well, not three or four things badly. Now, that's not to say there are people who can't trade multiple markets well, but you should focus on one before you branch out. Not always, guy. The bid is created where supply runs out. How do you like them apples? Right? Certain structural places, single prints, yeah, the top of single prints for sure. Right? See, the thing that's very different from ES and small caps is that in small caps you have the concept of dilution. In the ES there is no dilution, right? There's not some there's not some, you know, some villain like me selling 50 million ES contracts that they got for a half a penny into this, right? There's a dog and pony show at the White House? Hey Lear, how was your weekend? What are they talking about now? Do you realize how much these politicians talk? Holy cow, they're always talking. Unfilled buy orders make a low. It sounds illogical, O.J. Simpson, because you're trying to think like Spock on Star Trek. Think into your street hustler now. Take the Spock hat off and put on your Rick Ross hat. Every day I'm hustling. So if you get a bunch of unfilled buy orders at a level, why are they unfilled? Because the sellers get down to them and go, oh crap, there's a bunch of buy orders. Let's go and raise price. Those buy orders are not filled. If they fill, it'll break right through. Get rid of words like illogical and think about hustling. Don't try and overthink these markets or PhDify these markets. Right? If you think like a hustler, you're going to do much better at this game. Europe tries to prevent Trump to give away Ukraine. Okay, well that's all above my pay grade, Moran. No reason for me to watch that. Do you maybe have a video about TPO and those weak single prints? I have a lot of videos about TPO. If you go back in the JJ video section on the left-hand side of Discord, there'll be a ton of videos. See? Now it makes sense, right, Juice? Think hustler. Don't think scientist or don't think university professor. Think like you're slinging rock, brother. Because that's really all we're doing. Right? We're not slinging rock, we're slinging contracts. Right? So we open right at the overnight point of control. Now, I like to let the rich people figure this out. Let's see, what are we going to do? It's right in the middle of my zone, so there's really no trade. Right? So let's let Randolph and Mortimer figure this out. I am going to switch to the micro because I've paid my bills today. So I will switch to the micro and see if we can get over 68.5. You know, a 69, 69.5 long up to 71 and 73 would be plenty good enough for me. Till then, I'll wait. You got to think like a hustler, AJ. That's what it's all about, my friend. So I'm gonna try a little. Nah, I'm not. I don't like it just yet. Right? See if we can hold the open. Right? Now, when a market opens up, don't be the first one to jump in there head first. It's like diving in a swimming pool and you don't know how deep the water is. Right? Let the rich people go and figure out where the low is. Right? If we can't break the open, we'll rotate back up. The only reason I'm saying this is because overnight inventory is short. The natural progression is to take this cheap crap between 61 and 67 and go and try and pimp it out over 73. Okay? Which means sell it. Right? Right? If it's choppy off the open, it means there's not a lot of people coming in the store when we open the doors. Right? So that tells you just chill, relax, right? This thing's not going anywhere in a hurry, right? It's Monday, you've had a nice weekend, it's the middle of summer, right? Let everybody else get chopped up and stopped out and right? You just chill, right? Nice and slow. And you're just waiting for your setup. Now that look above and fail of 68, that I did not catch. Down to 65. Now we're right in the middle of this zone. We're right in the middle of the opening range. That's why that little white A is there. So let's see if we can creep over the middle and over Friday's close. Here we go. We're creeping. We're creeping. No, there's a seller at the close, Raj. Right? Oh, thanks, Taco. See, there's a seller at the close. Every time we get to the close, kapow, they hit it. Now, when they see buyers, they're going to raise their price, right? Think of the sellers of those people who were selling toilet paper at COVID. There's no toilet paper? Well, now it's $5 a roll instead of $5 a pack. See what I mean? It's just hustling, right? And when you have eager buyers, oh my goodness, you can raise price quickly, right? See how it's creeping back over the close? Now, people are selling before VWAP. Once we clear VWAP, there we go. Is there any follow through? So there's sign of life. We're printing the 69s. So if you're buying 69, sell and put some offers out. Make sure you get rid of your inventory, right? Before somebody else steals your client. Right? If it breaks 68 and a half, it'll rotate back down as it looks for buyers. Another strategy that some people could do is buy the close on a rotation down and flip it up when it gets like, a 67 half to 70, couple of points, right? That's always a nice trade, right? Thanks, Jeff. AJ, when you come to think about it, that's what we're doing as day traders. We're just hustling, right? We don't create anything, we don't build anything, right? We're just trying to grab a slice of that wave as it transports real money from one place to another. Here we go. Make sure you got your sell orders out if you're long 69. There you go. You should be selling the 71 quarters. If you can't get off, if you can't get taken at half, you're going to have to price compete, but it should clear the halves here. There we go. There's 3/4. Markets have been around for centuries. Screen-based trading has only been around since like 1997. Windows 95. That's when a lot of stuff changed. Before Windows 95, screen-based trading was pretty crappy. You know, if you look in the Traders Lounge, you guys, I posted a picture of the Pez, who was one of the big time Vancouver promoters, and he was actually in a wheelchair when I started. He had retired. And he's got like 6 monitors on his desk, but they're boxes, and each box is linked to a telephone line. That's the days before the internet. Right? That was expensive. It was like 2 grand a line. So his data would have been at least 12 grand a month. But the Pez did $200 million in a week in 1989, so he could afford it. That's not a bad feat doing 200 million in dollar volume in 1989. He was a force. Nice work, Hank. If you look in the Traders Lounge, there's a story about him. He was one of the most famous Canadian promoters. Now we're doing a look above and fail of VWAP and 68.5. So if you did happen to take a short, your target will be 65 and change. So this guy was not book smart at all. How he started was he saw 2 guys fighting in the street, and he said, "Hey guys, how about instead of fighting each other in the street, come fight in my backyard and we'll charge people $5 to watch you guys fight." And a star was born. There you go, Howard. That's the market omen. Actually, back in the day, Vancouver used to have an awards dinner, and they'd give an award to the best hustler, the best promoter. And the Pez actually won a Lifetime Achievement Award. I remember I was at the dinner. It's fascinating. Now, this is really choppy, so I'm trying to distract you guys because there's nothing to do here. Let's see if we can get above 70. Come on, we're creeping. We're creeping. Oh, there's a seller at a quarter. Oh, they move it up to half. There's 3/4. There's 70. Okay, we get a 70 print. And they sold into it. Ah, right? The double bottoms come out of nowhere in a market, Howard, where there's a lot of trap shorts, my friend. So you see that double bottom there on the 1 minute candles? That's a real pain, right? It's because everybody and his dog and his cat and his goldfish and his alligator and his iguana, they're all trapped short down here, right, from Friday. And there's other time frame shorts who are trapped from weeks ago, right? Yeah, that's why shorting this market is like pulling teeth without any freezing, right? It's a serious pain in the ass, right? Now let's see if we can take out that open. Okay, right? So there's a seller. The sellers are competing. Remember how I said I want to see that Friday low and the overnight low, which is in the wrong spot. Somebody should have told me. I really want to see what's lurking under here, right? What's down here, right? Here we go. Now we're going to go find out. Okay? If you look above and fail of 68 and a half, Howard, we finally got a seller that's a bit more aggressive, right? It's always good to test it, Howard, and to let it, right? And while they're doing this, there's nothing wrong with scalping around. Little look below and fail, look a little above and fail. Just don't get too committed. You know, Howard, it's like speed dating, right? Or for those of you who are older, 1987. See, now when a market goes and bounces around the open, the previous day's close, the previous day's low, that's when I like somebody else to pay the bill, right? You gotta be one of those cheap Weasley bastards who, when the bill comes at the restaurant, you're never at the table. Where'd he go? I don't know. Oh, sorry, guys, I had to go to the washroom. Oh, you paid the bill. Thanks so much for lunch, right? That's what you want to be like in the market. Never reach for your wallet first. Yep, alligator arms, exactly, right? You gotta be like my first boss, you know? Old, cheap, very rich. Maybe worth $600 million, but he took the bus to work, bought 3 suits for $99, and made you pay for really bad coffee. No matter how much money you could make him $1 million a month, you still had to pay for your own coffee. I'm telling you, it's the coffee, OJ. I went back to my Italian roast coffee. It's working. Ah, this market is like a 72 Dodge Dart with a bad carburetor. It's coughing and sputtering. Come on, let's get some. Let's go. Let's see now. Can we take that under 68 position? And we go take out the 72 and a quarter stop? Yeah, sorry, Omen. Your balance zones, and if you look at my videos, your balance zones don't have to be the same as mine. What you're looking for is the reaction, right? Does it stop? Does it look above and fail? Then you know you got a top of a balance. Does it look below and fail? Then you know you got the bottom of a balance. Should have been long 69. Ah, there's 72. There's that stop. See, that's lack of discipline. I was talking too much. If we can stay above 72, we can go up here and distribute between 71.5 and 77. Now remember from Globex, we had that 76 and 3/4 level. I have a feeling that there is going to be a seller waiting here for us. Because that's where the trapped inventory was. So let's see, there might be some supply up there. I don't know, Rolly. Those are old guys and they went through the Great Depression. All I'm saying is when you're trading, you want to be cheap like that. Because frankly, Mr. Griffin does not need to buy any more new dinosaurs. Right? So if you're long 72, right? If you're long that blue from green, from the bottom of the green zone, right? You're looking for 74/4, put an offer out there, right? So you bought 70, 71 half, say you bought 71, 72. See if there's any buyers up here, right? Undercut that level by a couple of ticks. Maybe go 73 and 3/4. Just get a print, right? Long 71 3/4 out at 3.5 on a test micro. Now we're going with, right? Because inventory was short, right? So you're out that 73.5, 73 and 3/4. You're selling into strength. The strength is created by a lack of supply. Strength is created because buyers are competing and sellers see buyers, right? But it doesn't last forever. You see, that's why you must sell into strength, right? You got to take advantage of that because it comes right back on you, right? So they started front running 77. They came in the 74s, right? So now we know that there are sellers here, right? So all through the market, while the market is trading and you're not in a trade, you can just kind of sit and watch and note where the sellers and where the buyers are. Right? They're actually the same people. Nobody ever tells anybody that. Right? The sellers and the buyers are the same people. They're two-sided traders. They're wholesale traders. They're market makers, or they are large prop traders that act like market makers because they understand the flow. See, missing the shorts. That 71.5, it would have been a nice 71 short down to 69, 68, right? But I missed that because of lack of discipline. That's okay. I can make enough money going long, but I should be more attentive to the shorts. Now let's go try that open again and see if it holds. You're done for the day? Nice work. I'm watching that open to see can we get underneath it. Yeah, Dan, it's the same people. See, they buy from us when we don't want to hold it, and they sell to us when we get greedy. Those are the people who are selling to us when we're greedy and buying it back when we're scared. Keep chipping away at it, Hank. It's the only way to fly. At the end of the day, they have all our stock and all our money until you figure it out. And don't worry if you haven't figured it out yet. It takes a while to figure it out. Nobody's ever popped out of the womb and known how to trade. It's a skill that you have to develop. Right? Trading is not like they don't have like uh, other than that TV show Limitless, right? You don't get trading virtuosos that are 10 years old and you can put on the Goldman Sachs desk. And it's not like playing a Mozart concerto, right? Don't worry, it's a learning process. We all go through the same spanking machine. Now they're teasing me with not taking out the previous day low. What's going on right now, folks, is that the previous day low is 63 and the shorts are front running it because they know that there's buying competition, unfilled orders underneath 63. So as soon as the supply starts to run out, that's why you're noticing that big green candle. None of this is random, right? If anybody tells you that this is random, walk the other way. Do you think a business that moves trillions of dollars every day does anything randomly? Think about how ridiculous that sounds. Do you think billionaires just randomly make business decisions? Oh, let's just try this for fun. Not quite how commerce works. Just like right now, we are trading right at the overnight cost basis. This is where we bought our cheap stuff in the overnight. We sold it higher, up to 73, 74, but then we ran out of buyers and we had to put it back on sale. So when we put it on sale, notice how we miraculously stopped in the 64s, where we actually started this little journey. What a coincidence. Not. Why does cost basis make sense? Because it's a market. And if you have goods, you have to acquire those goods and spend a certain amount of money for those goods. That is cost basis. Now we're doing the sort of Dyson vacuum back and forth, vacuuming up all of those contracts from above down here. So if the low of the day here, right, 64, 63 and three quarters, if that holds in the next 15, 20 minutes, let's see, we're going to go test it right now. I would prefer if we looked underneath Friday's low and came back up. Then I'd know that the buy orders are done. Here it's a little, could go either way, right? So I don't want to take the risk right now. I would love this. Here we go. Nope, not yet. See how they go? They come down to that A low, and everybody thinks it's just going to drop, and then all of a sudden, psych, just dances away because it sees buyers underneath 63 half. Now, if a bunch of sellers come in and start competing, they'll hit those 63 half quarter flat bids faster than you can blink. But as long as the buyers keep pushing up against the door at 64, oh, see, look, they just filled all those buy orders under 64. And they stopped one tick. There we go. Now they broke it. There we go. Come on down. Right? Looking at that 64.60 level, that's where that weird piece of structure was from the 12th. Hey, go. I don't know how to pronounce that. Go Cuxbit. Just DM me. Say hi in the ES, JJ Live ES room. We'll walk you through it. Don't worry about it. There's a start here under welcome and orientation. There's a Goku. There's a welcome and orientation. So just, and if you have any questions, just message me directly. I'm always around. Right? And that anyone who's joining our room, if you join it and you can't figure out what to do, just reach out to me or Taco or one of the admin. It's a very friendly place. We don't, you know, we're here to try and help you guys. So ask questions, you know. Yeah. You know, these markets are basically like a barroom brawl. We basically have to put each other's backs to each other's backs and fight our way out of this thing. That's the attitude I have. So let's see if this is a look below and fail of that 63 low. See how B period opened right at Friday's low. How cool is that? Thank you, Automated Trading and the 0 and 1 Mafia, for designing these computer programs. So there's going to be sellers here, here, and here, right? They'll be here. They're waiting. Let's see if this market can find its legs. Right. It holds 62 and a half. I'll wait for the next candle. Watch this candle. Can it hold 62 half? Right. There's no rush. You know, and if you are going long, you can put your stop here. right? So you grab a few at 60, 63, 64, and sell them. I bought 6 at 63, and I'm selling 6 at 65 and a quarter. Oh, hey, look, it jumped me. I'm going to sell them at 3/4, right? Sell into the strength, my friends. Get paid, make your money, and relax. I'm flat, right? What is the business reason for the trade? The premise is there are sell orders that take the market under 62.5. Those sell orders that are completed, the market rotates back up. You buy this area, you put your stop here or here, depending on how wealthy you're feeling, and then I'm right here. I know that there's going to be sellers here, so goodbye, I'm gone. Right? Make 2 points on 6 contracts, thank you. I'm out. Right? It sounds easy, but it's not easy. It's simple. Okay? The execution does take time. I'm not going to lie. I screwed that trade up a lot of times before I got it right. Spent a lot of time just watching too. A lot of time practicing it on the sim, right? But it's like anything else. You gotta put in the work, right? Now, 2 point trades are not a lot of money. They're only $100, but on 6 contracts, that's a $600 trade. You do that twice a day, and you're making decent money. And there's 20 trading days in a month, and you're not sitting in trades for hours, right? You can pay your rent, right? Looking for VWAP. Oh, we are at VWAP. Right? Sell into strength. Always sell into strength, friends. Get paid. No sense being in this business if you're not going to take a paycheck. Okay? You got to get paid. Otherwise, it's a huge waste of time. Right? Holding trades for longer is great. If you are already a consistent trader and you want to learn how to hold trades longer and need some help with that, please drop me a line in the room. We're going to be doing some work on it this week. Now that I'm feeling better, we'll show you how to hold trades longer, how to manage risk with size, right? Now, let's see. If we clear 69, we're looking for 71, and then that 73 level again, because we know that's where the sellers were last time, right? Hey, all right. Nice work. You're welcome, Hank. Have a good one. Oh, Nice work, Taco. Nice work. Now, can we achieve maximum creepage? Can we creep over 70? Not yet. See how they're selling into it right here? Well, because if I was long 64, say you're a big trader and you're long 50, 100 contracts under 66, under 65, I'd be selling them here for 3 points, right? You guys have already seen the power of compounding contracts, right? So if I'm trading 6 and I have a nice trade, what if I'm trading 60 for 2, 3 points, right? Hmm. And people will think it's a battle here. It's actually business is just slow, right? We're still in summer, right? Technically, we all should be sitting on a beach somewhere, right? Do I know people? Yes, I do. I have people that I coach that trade 2 to 4 million, 2 to 8. You know, they trade 50, 60, 100, sometimes more. And then I have friends who trade the thousands. But they don't need me to coach them. Am I walking? Does it sound like it? I am. I'm on the treadmill. The under the desk treadmill, Moran. I hope it's not. Is it annoying? It's annoying? Okay. Yeah, the girlfriend's got me on the treadmill. I got to do my 10,000 steps every day. You sound like a basset hound? I know. Got to do something in this chop, right? Uh, Hitting that 68 and a half again. Cisco, look for bids at 64 and 3/4. There you go, Jeff. Cardio trading. Yep, Hank, Thursday works. It's a tough market for short selling, You got your timing, you have to be, you know, shorting this market, you really have to be Johnny on the spot. You have to be like really tuned in for that short. And then you got to cover really quick because the short happens like that 73 to 65. You had 3 minutes, you know? I mean, you've heard of 5-minute abs. This is 3-minute shorts. You don't really have a lot of time to get unless you're really Johnny on the spot at 72 or 71 on that look above and fail of 71 half. You had to think, I used to sit for hours a day, and I have had a stand-up desk now for 4 years, and it's really made a difference. Now she's put a treadmill under it. So, next thing you know, she'll buy a robot and have it chase me around the apartment. It feels weird sitting down. Definitely, Jeannie. That's the thing when your girlfriend's a doctor, you really can't get away with much. She can actually interpret my test results. So, yeah, exactly, Dirk. No, I don't want a robot, man. I'm resisting all that stuff. Self-driving cars and robots, no thanks. Oh, now we're into chop, and we're right in the middle of the opening range, right? Right at the 67. So if you ever look at market profile and you want to know where the middle of the range is, it's this little white letter here. So right now we are really stuck. There's like, and it's just because business is really slow. Sellers at 68, they stopped selling at 66 and three quarters. This kind of, you know how you guys are into patterns? This is the leave it alone pattern, right? You know, you guys have the head and shoulders. You know, this is the go grab a coffee pattern, go for a walk pattern. Looks like B is an inside bar. You know what, Derek? I don't know if Tuesdays and Thursdays are the action days. I've heard that too, but I've actually never kept track of it. Has anyone ever kept track of it? I haven't. Be interesting to see. Oof. I've heard the theory. It's not the first time I've heard it, but I have no idea whether there's any validity to it because, like with a lot of things, I haven't done the work, so I wouldn't be able to comment on it. That's cool. Just got a little rotation going here. Yeah, by the time we figure it out, they'll switch the days, right? They'll scrub our social media and go, oh, somebody figured it out, change it. Gotta love conspiracy theories. What's going on today? What's the big news event? Nice work, Renee. Well done. Ah, yes, waiting for Jackson Hole. Rich people in Wyoming. Oh, nice work, Dave. Oh, look, we caught a bid. Let's see if we can crack that 70. Nope, they're still hanging into it. Swing long soybean meal. Oh, interesting. Anytime people talk about trading commodities, let's see, come on, can we get over 70 and stay over 70? I always think of trading places. Pork bellies. We're distributing, right? The overnight point of control was 64.5, and we are distributing at 8, 68, 60, 69, right? And if we can hold steady, it'll attract buyers. Exactly, Cisco. It's my favorite Christmas movie. You know, the funny thing about trading places, the two old guys who own that brokerage firm are like the guys who used to own my brokerage firm. They would literally play with your life for a dollar. So if we attract enough buyers, we can take out the top of this B period or the second half hour bar. There'll be some stops above that. Otherwise, let's see how long we can keep up this distribution over VWAP. And folks who have been joining us for the first time, thank you. If you could keep the algorithms fed and like and subscribe on our channel, it would be much appreciated. And please drop by the tradingsyndicate.org if you want to learn how to trade in a relaxing environment, in a helpful environment with people who want to show you the practical way to make money in this business and manage your risk. See here, we just ran out of buyers over 68.5, so now we got to put it on sale. Let's see where we find those big buyers. Then we can stop selling and raise price, right? Like we are right now. So we found some buyers under 67, and it'll just kind of, you'll notice that it's got a bit of a balance here, folks. I'd say right there. That's a distribution balance. It's a slow Monday business contact, right? Slow Monday. Nothing wrong with that. I don't mind easing into the week, right? I don't mind easing into the week. Oh, there we go. Looking for 71.5. There we go. 71.5. And remember, we had those sellers up here at 73. Let's see if they show themselves. Going back to get nice work, Nano. Have a good one. So say you had just woken up and started trading. You could use this 66 to 70 as your balance, and then you double it to the upside and double it to the downside, right? And that way you'd have targets. Now let's see if we come back in under 70. Because the market comes back in under 70, it's going to rotate down to the bottom of this balance. Otherwise, it'll take what they bought here and sell it up here. Sort of creeping higher, right? Creeping, exactly. Well, 64.60 and a half. That's a big level for me, right? That's this level here. Oh. Note today's low is 61, 2 ticks away, right? The people in the Globex, they got some cheap product down there. But there was no cheap product to be had when the market opened. Watch this level going forward today and this week. If we cannot get underneath that level, my longer term traders, please remember, as we go, we have 2 weeks left in August, right? God, I hate saying that. I hate it when summer ends, right? If we can't take out this low, be careful on the short side, okay? 64.60 and a half. If this week we cannot take out that level, we'll start rotating. First target will be 64.87 and 3/4, and then up to 64.36 and change, okay? And what do we have? Check this out, folks. We have a firecracker effect of stops. So if we take out the overnight high, look for Friday's high. If we take out Friday's high, we'll take out the high of Wednesday. If that gets taken out, there's nothing holding this thing down, right? Because the market went up. Look at this. Check this out. Hang on, let me just get rid of. See how we popped the market and then we faded it, right? Just faded it back down, but there are still responsive buys in these areas. If we start taking out these highs, it will trigger short covering. Okay? Be careful about that. You guys must have some sort of pizza pie, you know, chart pattern that alludes to this, right? Right? Once you start seeing, these are little details, but in this business, the devil is in the details, my friends. Devil's in the details. Now, if we take out 6460, right? Take out these lower levels, the next target will be 54. That's the next short position. Right? There are multiple short positions from the 12th. So this is that sky hook pattern, right? Where you throw the market up and it sticks, right? As long as you can hold those lows, right? It's still early in the day. We could still go test them now, right? Because we couldn't take out that 77 area. We're getting some liquidation now. Watch in the next half hour period if we can take out that 63.60 low. Okay? Look above and fail of 71.5 and a look above and fail of 68.5. So even if you shorted it now, you'd be looking for a break of 65, probably looking to cover 63 if you didn't catch the first big candle. Okay? Thanks everyone for joining me. Have a wonderful trading day. Come visit us at thetradingsyndicate.org. We'll help you pass evaluations. See if you had shorted, just like I said, here's where you're covering. Thank you very much for your couple of points. Right? Look below and fail of 62.5. Let's see if it holds that low. Right? We took out the B low, but look, magically we found bids at 61. Magic. What a coincidence. Rotation is the business of the morning, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to rotate inventory until we get some more customers coming in to Kmart. I miss Kmart. Mahalo, Cisco. What was that place that we used to have in Hawaii? Liberty House. You remember Liberty House? Liberty House was the best. Right? Ala Moana Shopping Center. All right, folks. Have a great morning. We'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now. Trade safe.